Hey everyone, I'm honored to welcome a very special guest. Hi Maddie, how are you?
Hi, I'm great. Thank you so much for inviting me to be on your podcast. I've never done something like this before, but I've always wanted to. So I'm just really grateful you asked me, and I'm excited to chat with you.
Girl, you're an icon. Like I should
Thank you.
the minute I met you, I was like, I'm obsessed with her. You're literally me, but like me if I was more confident and spontaneous.
Oh
So
my God, that's how I feel about you.
I'm like, stop it. No, I'm gonna cry.
Thank you. Well, I'm so glad you asked me to speak with you about like dating. I guess my um for me, I've been dating ever since I was 16. I've only recently been single the past year. So I always give advice to my friends, and I'm really excited to have this conversation. I feel like I have a lot of insight to offer into dating and interpersonal relationships. So I'm really glad you asked me to chat with you about this.
Of
Yeah.
course. And I feel like we never know who could be listening, and we could help a really like young, struggling girl with maybe like being in a bad relationship or realizing like she deserves better. And I just love having conversations like this because you never know who needs them.
Yeah, totally. And you never know who's just like going through the same stuff as you or who might just need to see a different perspective. And I'm really excited to be able to offer just my insight and my perspective because I know that it might be different than a lot of people's. So, yeah.
Well, do you want to like introduce yourself really quickly before we dive into the questions? I feel like this is giving caller daddy, and I'm obsessed with it.
Okay. Well, my name is Madison Sayre. I run a Instagram account called Mad Says. I'm also on Threads and TikTok, and I've just been posting kind of whatever comes to mind and trying to be more vulnerable on the internet and reach out to different girls and share what it's like to be a girl and the struggles that I face in dating and friendships and just really trying to share with other people so that they don't feel so alone and to make connections like this so I don't feel so alone. And yeah, I've really been enjoying my little journey on social media and my journey getting to know myself through my content. So yeah,
Well, you're literally a queen. Like, I'm obsessed
thank
with you.
you.
And being a girl is not the fun thing it I feel like appears to be. It's not the most fun thing in the world all the time. And people
Yeah.
need to realize that because it's really hard for us.
Yeah, it is. And like, it's a really hard world to navigate. And I feel like, especially with the internet and having gone through COVID, like the game is just so different now. And it's almost like a whole new world for us. And so the more we can reach out to each other and share our experiences and support each other, the better, because the game has changed.
Definitely, it really has. So, I guess my first question is kind of like, I guess the nightmare that comes maybe after you're dating someone, you're talking to them, or if this happens to you, I just like, I feel so much sympathy. I don't think anyone should ghost anyone. I think that's just so harmful for someone's nervous system. And then you kind of always wonder, like, what did I do wrong? What is your take on that? And what do you like think about ghosting? Why do you think people do it? And do you think it's fair?
I have kind of a different perspective on ghosting. I have my notes here that I'm going to be looking at, but it really seems to be like a common part of communication in the modern era. I think that we're so well connected and it's so easy to communicate with people nowadays that when, that communication drops suddenly, it can feel like really jarring and almost hurtful. But I do kind of see ghosting as a natural part of being a flawed human and navigating new interpersonal relationships. I think, especially like in a new relationship, that things fizzling out and ending on an undefined note is something that is natural. And before we had texting and calling, it was common even then for people to make connections and then for those connections to just kind of end suddenly. I think it just feels a lot more significant now because it is so easy to be in communication. Um, I know it can be really hard to tell someone that you don't want to continue communicating with them. So ghosting can almost sometimes feel like a gentler way of like letting communication with someone go. And I know it can be really hard to hear on the receiving end too that You don't want communication to continue. So while it's hard to end things on an undefined note, I think just ending communication in general, especially in a new relationship, is just kind of a difficult thing. And I think that ghosting, even though it seems like, a little jarring and unfair, that it is a natural way of leaving things, especially in a new relationship. Like at a certain point, when you have a level of commitment with someone and you've spent a lot of time with them, you are going to owe them a conversation and, an explanation as to why you want to end things. But in really new relationships, when you're talking to a lot of different people and you're meeting people online, you're really busy. Like I can see and empathize with people who ghost other people because it can be hard to say that you don't want to keep talking to someone, and we're not perfect. So, yeah.
I agree. I mean, if that's like the worst thing you've ever done, I think you're not a horrible human being. I mean, come on.
Yeah, yeah,
You're not committing murder. Come on, guys. It's okay.
exactly.
Forgive
Yeah,
yourself. And I always say, like, for a girl, especially, like, let's say you don't know someone that well and they're making you uncomfortable. I think it's definitely okay to ghost them. It's not like you guys are best friends for 7 years. You know, you met like
yeah.
days ago and they're being weird and you're just not vibing with it anymore. I think it's okay.
Exactly. Like you don't always owe people, like new people in your life, an explanation, and new people in your life don't always owe you explanations about, why they're doing things and what their inner world is like. So sometimes you just don't get an explanation, and I think that that's normal and natural, even though hurtful. Yeah.
I mean, usually as girls, we eat ice cream, say, well, that fucking sucks. And then we get over it. And like,
Yeah.
so it's fine. It's fine. It's okay.
I know. You just have your ways of coping with it, and then you go to your people that you know are going to be there for you and that you have your relationship with. And
And you roast
yeah,
that person for like the rest of your life.
yeah, exactly.
It's okay, guys. You're literally like the emotionally intelligent big sister we all needed, I think.
Oh, thank you. Well, I try to tell my friends and my little sister these kinds of things, but they don't always want to hear it. So
That's
I'm
that's
here for it though.
That's what happens. It's always like you have to, if you want advice, you have to like get someone that doesn't know them to tell them. It's like with your mom,
Yeah.
like we never listen to our moms, so our moms will have their friends tell us. And then it's like, oh,
Yeah,
maybe.
that's a good point. Yeah, maybe I could try and find a surrogate
In the
to
podcast,
deliver
be
some of
like,
this harder
here you go.
information.
I'm telling the world
Yeah.
now you have to listen to me.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, have you ever ghosted someone or been ghosted?
Yes, of course. I've ghosted people and I've been ghosted. I was talking to this really great guy and he was really sweet and one of the sweetest guys that I've dated, honestly, but I wasn't really interested in him. And I really didn't want to tell him that I wasn't interested in him. I just felt like he deserved so much better.
Oh,
And so I just kind of left it. He asked if he wanted to plan, like, we wanted to plan another date. And I just felt like it was almost kinder to just leave things at that instead of, shooting him down. I didn't want to shoot him down.
real. Oh.
I know I like probably hurt him, either way. But yeah, I just couldn't say no to him. So I just didn't say anything. Yeah. And then I also, of course, have been ghosted plenty of times. And actually, usually I find that I'm ghosted by people who seem really excited about me. I met this guy online. Yeah. And he told me that I was his dream girl. He was like texting me and Snapchatting me every day, multiple times a day. He told me how amazing I was, how much he liked me. And when we hung out, he like kissed me on the nose and told me like he wanted to keep seeing me.
It's always
And
nice,
then
I
I
swear.
know, like, what? And yeah, and so we didn't end up meeting again. And every time I would ask him, like, when are we going to hang out again? He would say, like, oh, I'm nervous to see you, or I need to hit the gym more. So I think he was a little bit insecure. And then at one point, he just ghosted me, which was,
Keep sleeping, buddy. Like, come
I
on.
know, like, it was a pretty big disappointment. Like, the dream girl to ghosted pipeline needs to be studied.
I might have to
Yeah.
make that the title of the episode because what
Good.
the
Yeah.
hell? I've had that happen to me before too. Like
Really? Yeah.
you're gonna literally do that for a week almost, and then
I know,
and
just
then come
like
back.
that.
Hi, Casper.
Yeah.
Like, okay,
And I was only excited about it because he was so excited about it. And so
great.
when they just drop it like that, it's kind of like, like what was the point
Let's tell
in
you.
all of that
You criminal.
excitement?
You meant to
Yeah.
be okay. Like, what's going on here?
Yeah. So honestly, though, it's ghosting, like being ghosted can be easier than hearing that, like, they found something in you that they didn't like, or like there was something on social media that I posted that like made them not like me.
Which
Um,
is so ridiculous because it's like that is you completely and you like authentically. And if someone
I
doesn't
know.
for you, then
I know. Yeah. Goodbye anyway.
bye bye.
So
Doors right
I would
there, buddy.
rather, honestly, that they just ghost me and leave than to have to hear that they didn't like something about my personality.
Right.
So,
No, that's what my therapist told me. She was like, "Would you rather them
yeah.
leave now or leave when you're really vulnerable with them?" And I'm like, "What
Yeah.
did she eat with that?"
Yeah, exactly.
Like what? And then she's always like, "Is this who you'd want to stand beside you anyways?" And I'm like, "Cricket."
No, I know. Like, if it was going to work out, it would work out. Like, they wouldn't ghost you. And
It would
so,
have been that
good
way.
riddance, you know.
Anyways,
Yeah.
I'll blare Sabrina Carpenter for like 4 days and then get over it. So, anyways,
Yeah,
um,
exactly.
now I kind of want to throw something in there. You mentioned Snapchat. Are you team Snapchat? Snapchat quick ad? What are your thoughts on Snap? I feel like especially for the young girls listening, we kind of need to hear this.
Personally, I'm 26 years old, so I don't use Snapchat anymore. When I was Snapchatting this guy, he was a few years younger than me. I do think it can be fun and it can be like a good way of staying in communication with someone that you really like sending little pictures back and forth
Yeah.
seems like lower pressure than having to be constantly like having a conversation and talking about someone or talking about different things. So I think it can be fun and it's up to the individual person. Um, but now that I'm a little bit older, like I don't have as much time during the day to be constantly sending pictures back and forth. And I also don't always want to be, getting the perfect selfie and everything. So now I'm a lot more partial to just, intermittent texts throughout the week and spending time in person. I don't really feel a need to be like constantly sending pictures back and forth. But I do remember when that was really fun and I did enjoy that at a certain point. So I think it's just about where you're at in life and how, what you want out of a relationships and where the other person is at and what they like too.
I agree.
Yeah.
And I just like what I don't like about it though is I've seen a lot of girls talking about how they feel like pressure to be intimate on there with people and like,
Mm.
oh, send nudes or like send me this or that. I'm just like, why are we doing that? Like that is not something that should be like the focus of any connection. I think healthy connections start with emotional levels and then you can be like, okay, I like this person enough to give them this part of me, give them access to more of me. And I just, that's what I don't like, that people a lot of times abuse it as, okay, I need a quick fix right here. I'm going to add you on Snapchat. I'm going to get what I want. Hopefully, ladies don't give them what they want. Don't, no, no, no. Your self respect is up here. But, anyways,
Yeah.
I'm going to get what I want because I think that these girls are going to send them the images and then I'm going to unadd you. And that probably feels horrible for the girl.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think a boundary that I've been setting in personal relationships is that I won't engage in like intimate sexual conversations or intimate sexual pictures unless we have a serious intimate connection and relationship in real life. I think it's like a matter of trust and, like you said, a matter of self respect. It seems to be very common for men to just want really surface level connections where you're sending quick pictures back and forth or sending quick sexts back and forth. And that's all they're looking for out of connections sometimes.
Gross.
Um, and for me, I'm really done with those surface level connections. Like they can make you feel worthless. Yeah, they can make you feel like you're not worth anything more than a couple of sexual pictures. So that's a really big boundary that I set. Like I do not engage in, virtual sexual communication unless I have a serious relationship with that person and am, we have a very well established grounds of mutual respect and commitment to each other.
Thank you for
Yeah.
saying that because I feel like a lot of these young girls like they feel pressured to send these images and it's like your body is your body. You don't need to
Yeah.
give anyone access to it. And I had this girl tell me, but he's so cute. Okay, and there's gonna be another cute guy that will respect you, and that's even cuter.
Yeah. And I will say, like, I find that that women who set their boundaries and hold their boundaries, the right men find that much more attractive than women who break their boundaries just because they're scared of losing a guy or because they want to compete with other women or seem like they are more open and spontaneous. But the men who I find to be the most responsible and the ones who really, I really desire to be partners in my life, they respect women who set their boundaries and hold their boundaries firm. And I find that my communication with men goes a lot smoother and often ends in them respecting me a lot more when I hold those boundaries. They will, try to take it as far as they can. They will try to get you to break your boundaries. And if you hold firm on them, it's almost like dealing with a toddler. Like they will respect those boundaries and they want you to set those boundaries. You just have to hold firm on them and know that if you do end up losing him because you set boundaries, like he's not the right person for you. And yeah, yeah,
The right person's not going to make you feel uncomfortable. I mean, come on.
exactly.
Imagine having to tell your future kids, like, daddy made me feel uncomfortable a few times. Like, no, why are we going
No,
to?
I
No.
know you want to feel, yeah, respected and understood and like you're not being pressured into doing anything that makes you uncomfortable. Yeah.
So thank you for bringing that up. I feel like it's always just a
Yeah.
conversation and it's like the first time I've been able to, but it's a topic that I like really hold to my heart because I see all these young girls online. I'm like, no, we're not doing this, guys. So
I know.
yeah.
On the same note, though, there are some girls who like to send sexual pictures like that and do enjoy, um, you know, these types of virtual relationships that are low commitment. And that's okay if that's something that you enjoy. I think you should really just be introspective and very considerate about how you're feeling when it happens and to protect yourself. But if you feel like it's something that you want to do and it's not going to hurt you, I wouldn't feel ashamed about it either if it's something that a young girl genuinely enjoys. Yeah.
It's all about comfort.
Yeah, exactly.
So, what is your biggest green flag when getting to know someone? I feel like we always talk about the red ones as humans. So,
Yeah, my biggest green flag is someone who is able to schedule plans in advance and follow through on those plans as scheduled. I find that a lot of people who are my age don't really like planning things out in advance. They don't want to plan things out, maybe 2 days, more than 2 days, or even a few hours in advance sometimes. And I'm someone who has a really busy schedule. I like to plan things far out in advance. And I also will do a lot to plan for a first date sometimes. Like I might get a facial, I might get my nails done, I might get a new top. I look forward to dates for, sometimes 1, 2 weeks in advance. And so when someone is capable of making plans in advance and then actually following through with those plans, that is my biggest green flag. I can really appreciate the novelty of spontaneity, and it can be fun to be spontaneous. But ultimately, at this point in my life, I'm dating to find a life partner and a father to my future children. So I want someone who's dependable and responsible and shows that from the get go, and someone who makes me an important part of their schedule. Like I know that it can be people can get nervous to go on dates and they might feel like they want to reschedule it or put it off. But I know that I put a lot of effort into being brave and showing up for people. And I want someone who puts in that same effort back for me.
mic drop, period.
Yeah,
Love that.
period. Yeah.
What is one hot take you have about dating in 2026?
So, a lot of people, I think, since COVID, have seemed to be pretty withdrawn and demotivated, and not just in dating, but in socializing in general. I find that people have a hard time letting new people into their lives. It seems like there's a lot of people who just aren't as excited to have fun anymore and aren't as excited to socialize anymore. Um, and it's definitely not everyone, but it seems to be a pretty common theme that like a lot of men my age just aren't ready to be settling down and putting effort into a relationship. Like people really just seem to want to kind of live day by day and go from feeling to feeling. And it's been really disappointing, even in trying to find friends too. But I know that that's not how it is across the board. I am finding more people who are making an effort to, open up their social circles and bring new people into their lives and make an effort to, see people on a regular basis and get out of their houses. But I've definitely had to work a lot harder to find those people and social circles than I have at any other point in my life. And maybe that's just because I'm older now and everyone is busy, or because everyone got, so used to being alone during COVID. But it just seems like it's been a long road to get back to this like open social world that I kind of thought I would be stepping into as an adult.
And I feel like, does that kind of disappoint you a little bit? Because I feel like when you're like my age, because I'm 19, I know you know that, but you kind of
Mm-hmm.
imagine, dating when you're 26 is like this amazing thing. And then you're there now. Was it not what you expected when you were maybe 18, 19, 20?
It is disappointing. Yeah, I thought
Like, I
that.
want to redo.
Right. I thought that at this point in life, like dating would get more serious and that this would be the age where, men are getting more serious about dating. But it seems like I still have a few years to go, maybe. And I can empathize with men. Like, there's a lot of pressure from society to be providers and to be, like they feel like they need to be ready to date someone. So I can see how they might feel, a little withdrawn or a little unsure about dating until they, feel like they have their career and their life set. But I'm really looking for someone to grow with. So I don't need someone who has their whole life set out ahead of them. Like I want someone to make mistakes with and to figure things out with together. I don't expect a man to have everything figured out and to just be ready to provide for me. I want to figure out how to provide for each other. And so I think it's important to change the narrative around dating. I hear a lot of girls talking about how the man should always pay for the dates and be providing for you, paying for your nails and hair. And while there are men who are like that and there are some relationships who are like that, I think the vast majority of men, like, it's not fair to expect them to be that ready to be providers for women or to ever to be a provider for women like that. Like, we fought for our equality and we need to uphold our end of the equality, and make things
So true.
equal and find a way to provide for each other.
Love that. I really do. Thank you for bringing that up. I feel like it's such an
Yeah.
important thing because, it's not always on the guys to be the providers. Women can provide too.
Exactly. Yeah. And we can split dates. Like, I really think, like, if a man pays for the first date, I really want to pay for the second date, or I like splitting dates. And I think that that's a much more neutral way to approach dating rather than like, I'm the princess, I should have everything paid for. I really want it to be like an equal, neutral relationship that we both contribute to equally.
I agree. So, what is one way you approach dating that you feel is different from other people or strays from advice that you often hear?
So, advice that I often hear about, especially new relationships, is that women should have and set really strong expectations at the beginning of relationships. This is something that I strongly disagree with. I don't really think it's fair to set expectations on other people, especially when you don't have a long history of commitment and you aren't relying on each other as life partners. What I do instead is I set my personal boundaries and then I let the other person decide if they are able to meet those boundaries, and I let them show me to what level they're able to meet those boundaries. If they don't meet those boundaries, I don't get mad at them. I don't get upset. I don't threaten them. I just let them know that they aren't meeting my needs and that I'm going to be looking elsewhere. So I think boundaries and expectations can look really similar, but for me, the difference is the choice of words that I use and the intentions that I have behind them. So, a boundary that I often set in a relationship is that I am not looking for a texting relationship. I'm looking to spend time with someone in person. And if that's not something that we can make happen, soon after opening communication, I am no longer going to be interested in continuing communication. So, excuse me. The um important part there is the choice in using I statements. At no point am I putting direct responsibility on the other person or referring to the other person directly. I'm sharing what I personally am looking for and allowing them to decide if they can meet those needs. I think that, while very similar, this looks a lot different than saying, I expect you to take me on a date within 2 weeks, or I expect you to see you every weekend. These kinds of statements and setting these expectations can be really jarring for people, especially in the beginning of new relationships. And it can set a lot of unnecessary pressure on a new relationship and a new person. And so I think it's just a much more considerate way to approach things by setting personal boundaries. And if they aren't able to meet those boundaries, then you just move on.
I love that. I really do. I think it's important to like not waste your time because time is precious and we're all busy and
Yeah.
should be teaching someone how to respect them or care about them.
Yeah.
We're, that's not our job. We're not their mom.
I know exactly. Like I have my boundaries and I have my needs, and you're either going to meet them or we're going to move on. Like I'm not going to sit here and complain about it. I'm not going to tell you how to act. Like you either are what I need or you aren't, you know? Yeah.
Exactly. Advice you give to a girl hurt over a relationship ending.
Um don't let a breakup get you down too much. Don't let it ruin your self worth. The ending of something can actually be really beautiful. You've had an experience, you've learned a lesson, and now you are free to move on to the next thing a little bit wiser. Each person that we love and lose in our lives brings us a little closer to who we are as a person and to who we are as a partner, and it teaches us a little bit more about love and life and ourself. And so I think that it's important to let these things go with a light heart. Feel your feelings, cry your tears, talk about it, but then really just let it go and let it be. Don't let it get you down too hard. I know it can be hard when something ends, but choosing to see it in a positive light and choosing to have a light heart about it is something that we can make the active choice to do. And the harder you hold on to something and the bigger deal you make out of it, the harder it is for you. And so I think girls really need to work on or focus on just letting things go with a light heart and moving on. They deserve to focus on themselves and their future and to not let a breakup or a past relationship get them down too hard. If it was going to work out, it's going to work out. And if it doesn't work out, it's not meant to be. So, just let it go and let it love and let be.
Like Elsa said, let it go. Just
Yep.
you got onto something there. I'm not gonna lie. You're so right though, because it's like you can't expect to find the right thing in the wrong room. And if you're sitting there or you're crying over someone or you're letting them take all this energy from you, you're still giving them the power and taking away whatever else could find you.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Like, I don't think he was your husband, guys.
I know.
Your
Yeah, there's
husband
no
won't
use
see
in
you like
crying
that, by
over
the way.
something. Yeah, that doesn't work out because that just means that your person is still out there. That wasn't your person, and you're going to find him one day, and you've learned a lesson, you've had an experience. So be grateful for that and be grateful that you're able to move on now and that you are able to look for the right person now.
Is or like I guess what would you say about like relationships that kind of like take a pause and it's not really anything to do with the two people. It's kind of more of like a circumstances thing and it could happen one day, but you don't really know and it's kind of like up in the air. What up?
Those are really tough because you just don't know. But
We'll
I
tell
think
you later.
those, yeah, this is where what's for you. I know I have one of those too. I think we all have things that are circumstantial that could have worked out, but you never know. And I think we tend to put a lot of emphasis on these things because they didn't not work out. Like there wasn't anything that let us down, and there wasn't anything that really like was obviously not going to happen. um I think that these can almost be harder to let go of because there is still so much hope and unknowingness. But ultimately, those things, if they're going to work out, they're going to work themselves out in time. You can't force it, and there's no use in ruminating over it or letting it impact your current relationships or the current way that you approach socializing and dating. I think, you can hold a special place in your heart for those people and those relationships, but you need to move on with your life and know that if they're going to work out, they'll work themselves out in time.
You can't like waste your today waiting for someday.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like if that someday is going to happen, it's going to be someday and you'll get there when you get there, but enjoy what you have now and don't be focusing on something, that's not right in front of you.
Probably too short for you anyways, but that's not
Yeah.
that's not the point. Sometimes I'm like, these are also just guys. Like, what are we? I'm like, when you like take them off your like high pedestal, it's like, wait, you're kind of like, you probably smell really bad. Like,
I know. Yeah. Like, especially with someone who you didn't get to actually date or who you don't see on a regular basis, like you can tend to really put them on a pedestal and you create this persona for them in your head that they're this perfect person because they never got to show you that they're not a perfect person. But you have to remember that they're just as flawed as everyone else, and you just never really got the chance to get to know those flaws. And you don't know if things could have worked out. You only hope in your mind and in this narrative that you created that they could have or would have worked out, but you don't know that for sure. It's just, another one of those things that are up in the air.
exactly. And like another girl's probably crying over this dude, guys. Like,
Yeah,
probably
exactly.
divorced ex, like, But I don't know, like,
Exactly.
right? Isn't that crazy to think about? It's like this guy, you're like, he's amazing, guys. Like, it's always so funny too, because like when you put these like men on a pedestal, you're like, never them. Like, you're defending them any minute, and then
Yeah,
some girl out there is probably like, fuck him, like he sucks.
exactly. Like someone else was hurt by him,
Right.
undoubtedly. Yeah.
It's so hard when you can't villainize someone. That's like something I used to use to get over it. I'm like, okay, well, they kind of sucked anyways, or they weren't really nice. But it's like if it was a nice guy and it was a capacity thing, or a
Yeah.
circumstance, I'm like, so what? Like, how do I, play this in my head so I can just like live my life? And it's like crap.
I know. Those are just so hard to move on from. I don't, yeah, like I have my own, you know, guy that's out there who could have been great, but I'll never know. And it's just one of those things you have to learn to live with. Like, you just kind of have to hold it inside of you and just move on with your life. And,
You'll be the one to object at your wedding, you know?
yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I will say at a certain point, like the facade fades and you kind of see them as just the normal person that they are. And, at a certain point, you do move on, like even if that takes a long time, but it won't be forever for sure. Yeah.
Thank you for that. I know a lot of us girls like me needed that.
Me too.
We're gonna be like listening to this on our phone. Like, we said it, so now we have to believe
I
it.
know. Now we have to hold up on our own
It's
advice.
literally
Yeah.
coming from our mouths. So
Yep.
okay. What was a moment you realized you deserved better? I love that you added this in. I gotta say, like, since we're still on the air, you're probably one of my most prepared podcast guests that I've
Oh, good.
had. So thank you for just coming in and like excited and ready to do this with like your own ideas too. I love when people
Yeah.
have so she's a
Oh, thank you. I mean, I'm so glad you asked me to be on your podcast because starting my own podcast is something that I've thought about and I love to talk about these exact things. What it's like to be a girl and the different challenges and good things in life that we face and dating, and so this is a great introduction to that and I was really excited to do this, so thank you so much for asking me. I'm glad I was able to be prepared for you. Yeah.
I'm like looking through her like little like I should screenshot it and post it when I release it. Like little Google Doc and it's like all alphabetized. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna cry. She's like,
Oh, yeah.
I know you
Well, I am
reminded me
someone
like
who
a high
likes to
school
be
project.
prepared. Yeah.
I know you did like half the project when they were like,
Oh,
it's
thank
a
you.
team project. You like did it all, I know.
Oh, yeah, no, I was always the one doing all the work in team projects. Yeah.
Uh,
Not even half of it, just like all of it. Yeah.
well, amazing. Okay, a moment you realized you deserve better. I'm ready.
So I had this boyfriend in college and I was really deeply in love with him. And I really thought at the time that we could get married and be together. And at the time, I also had some pretty unique perspectives about love. And he did a lot of things to hurt me. He manipulated me. He cheated on me with my best friend a few times. And I thought that, you know, if this is the love of my life and I want to show him that I love him, that I need to forgive him. So I forgave him several times. He ended up breaking up with me because it wasn't the right time in our life. He wanted to be single and to focus on himself before things got more serious between us. And I ended up moving on. But I missed him and I thought about him for years and years. And then several years later, 5+ years later, we did end up in communication again. And he wasn't as excited about me as he used to be, and he wasn't as excited about me as I was about him or as I wanted him to be. And then at a certain point, while we were communicating again, he liked one of my best friend's stories, and it was a picture of her in a bikini. And so at that point, I was like, all right, this is ridiculous. Like, I deserve better. I don't deserve to be in
Ew.
this constant state of unknowing. I know. And just because like empathy and forgiveness are a part of love, I deserve to be loved by someone who I'm not constantly having to forgive. And I shouldn't be constantly having to have empathy or like, understand or, let things go. Like, I should feel secure and seen in a relationship. Um, and so honestly, I should have let him go much sooner. I should never have forgiven him as many times as I did. But I know now that, I deserve much better in a relationship. I deserve someone who makes me feel secure in a relationship, and I shouldn't have to be forgiving them or be unsure, just to show them that I love them. And so now I'm a lot more protective over my heart. I don't just, put my heart on my sleeve like that anymore. Um, I haven't really dated anyone seriously since I broke up with my last boyfriend about 2 years ago, simply because I haven't found the right person. And now I have a really, good understanding of what I'm looking for and a good understanding of what I deserve. And I'm not accepting anything less than that, even though that means I might be a little lonely. And even though that means I might have to, shoot guys down who are halfway there. Um, but I'm not accepting anything less now.
I love that.
Yeah.
Never settle for less. Never.
No, yeah, because you deserve the best, and someone out there is willing to give it to you. There's so many people out there.
I truly believe that like God or whoever everyone believes in made someone with the same exact that can meet us where we are. And
Yeah.
we all should wait until we find that person. And that guy totally fits. You know how Sabrina and Nobody's Son goes like, he sure fucked me up. Yes, I'm talking about your baby. Like, let's call this guy's mom. Like, what kind of
Yeah, seriously. I
excuse
know.
me?
Get him.
What are we doing? I want
Yeah.
I need a name and an address like as soon as
Oh, I'll give it to you. Yeah.
I'm ready. I'll come with my books, but he's not gonna be reading them. I'm gonna throw them at him.
I know. I actually have been writing a song about him, about how he has daddy issues and it's a bit of a burn. So
I need to read it, please. You need to
heck yeah.
I love roasting the wrong kind of men.
I know.
It's not all men. We love men. We love the right men, but
The wrong kind, I know. Like, yeah, they deserve a roast sometimes, and he deserves to be put in his place for sure.
for sure. Oh my God. Oh my God. That's crazy. I'm not over it. The bikini thing really like he did the same thing almost
I
twice.
know, the same thing. And yeah, like, and he had even slept with her around that time too. So it was just like,
Ugh.
and he took advantage of how, like, she was in a vulnerable position. And yeah, it just obviously I realized, like, wow, I deserve so much better than this. Like, why did I ever give this guy the time of day? Like, why did I let him hurt me like this? Like, this isn't love. Just because I love him, like, doesn't mean he deserves my forgiveness, and it doesn't mean he deserves my love, you know?
No, he can go and he needs a therapist. So hopefully he's getting
Yeah, hopefully. I don't know, but
I have this thing. I feel like people that hurt us should Apple Pay us money for
oh
hurting.
yeah.
Reimburse me at least. Like
Please send me, like, I don't know, $10,000 maybe
right. Especially
minimum.
um one thing you want in a future partner.
I want someone to be obsessively in love with me. I am an
Oh
obsessive
yeah.
lover. Yeah. I like when I really like someone, when I love them, I think about them all the time. I do what I can to be my best self for them and show up for them and show up for myself in the best way that I can. And I want someone who puts that same effort back into me and reciprocates that energy. And we have this mutual obsession. Um, I don't want to get stuck feeling like I settled for someone, or like someone settled for me, or like we're only together because we felt like we couldn't do better. I really want to be with someone who I feel like I think is the best person in the world, and they think that I'm the best person in the world, and that we're just, right for each other. Which can be really hard to find. But I'm willing to take my time and do the work that it takes to find a person like that. And I'm hoping that he's out there and somewhere nearby. Yeah.
I'm making your wedding cake, so
Oh,
we'll
thank
find it.
you.
We will
What are
be
you looking for in a future partner?
honestly, I just want someone like I agree with you. I'm the same way. Like when I love
Yeah.
someone, I think about them and I want to send them cute messages and I'm a lover girl, like that's me, but I
Me
want
too.
someone that can just respect me. I'm not even saying like you have to be a lover boy, you have to mirror that back all the time, but I don't want
Hmm.
someone who runs from their problems and can't face their problems or can't see their issues reflected back. I have a mirror theory and I think sometimes people get scared because we show them where they need to work on themselves. And I want
Yeah,
someone who sees that and says, okay, I love Rylan enough that I want to be better for her. I don't want to just leave because I can't be this person. It's like if
exactly.
you want to be with me, if you love me enough, you're going to do the work to be with me. And I just
Yeah,
want someone like that. I want someone who respects me, respects my
yeah,
time, and then I'm busy and then I'm very passionate. I once had a guy that was like, because like I'm an author, I'm a writer, like I'm verbal, like what you see is what
yeah.
you get. I'm a yapper. And he was like, so I was like just talking to him and he was like, yeah, let's stick to snapping. And
No,
I was like, I'm not the girl for
that's
you,
not gonna
buddy.
work.
You can
Good.
go. And then I had another guy that was like, your depth scares me. I'm like, yeah, you probably want to leave now. Like,
Yeah,
if this scares you, like, wait until like I'm writing another book or something. Like, you need to go. But I
good.
want someone who sees me and loves me for me, and you know,
Yeah,
yeah, that's it. Respects me and I respect them and love and adore them. And
yeah.
it's not about being perfect because no one is perfect. It's about saying, I'm not a perfect person, you're not a perfect person, but let's build and grow and go through really hard
Hmm.
shit together and
We
figure it
show
out.
up as my best self for each other. Yeah,
Exactly,
yeah.
exactly. And I don't like guys that like are insecure either. That's what I was telling my
I
sister
know.
today. I was like, I don't like a guy that's insecure. If you're gonna be insecure and be like, I don't deserve you a million times a day, and just like that's so unattractive. I don't want to have to be like
Yeah.
reassuring you all day long. I mean, I get it. Sometimes you have been in experiences that have made you that way, but it's like
Hmm.
you say that all day long. It's no, 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 no.
Yeah. Yeah. You're either gonna show up and be your best self for me, or you're not, and I'm gonna move on. And yeah,
I'm
yeah.
considering who's gonna be hopefully 6 foot tall because I'm 5'9".
I know. You're 5'9". Oh my God.
How tall are
Lucky.
you?
I'm 5'5".
Okay, perfect. See,
Yeah.
you're older and you're shorter, and I'm tall and young. We love that duo.
We love that duo.
Love it. Like I sent you the other day, I sent her the Tinkerbell and that other what's that other fairy's name? I'm forgetting, but I was
Oh
like,
my gosh, I don't know her name, but yeah,
like
Tinkerbell and
actually,
yeah, that's us.
I truly
Little
adore you.
blondie and brunette.
Italy. Literally, like, oh, I love it. But I truly adore you. And this conversation was so healing for me. As you're gonna go on Instagram and see, I tagged you in a little note.
Oh, you're so
Um,
sweet.
but I loved chatting with you. And speaking of Instagram, for everyone who wants to go follow you, what is your Instagram? Are you
My
on?
Instagram is Mad Says, and yeah, feel free to follow me. I just post, whatever little girly things that come to mind, and I'm trying to be more vulnerable on the internet and just trying to be creative. Um, and I'm always open to chatting with people and offering advice and just generally being there for people. I know that I'm really looking to make social connections. So, anyone who's looking to make social connections, feel free to reach out. And I would love to have more mutuals like Rylan. She's one of the greatest people I've met on the internet. And I know that there's more girls out there like that. And I just want to open my arms to all of them and make them feel seen and loved. And yeah,
Supporting Girls 2026. We need more of that.
yeah, we need more of that.
Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me.